In this Contact Form 7 WordPress tutorial, I am going to show you how you can create this beautiful WordPress website form using the Contact Form 7 WordPress plugin. This Contact Form 7 style is not only beautiful but highly responsive for any device. Furthermore, somewhere in this video, I will give you downloadable complete CSS and HTML code along with Elementor template file. With the help of these files, you will be able to create the exact same form in less than 1 minute without any coding knowledge. You will not get this file link in the description and comment section, because I will show you the download link somewhere in this video. I am highly recommending you watch this video from start to finish so that you can easily customize this contact form as per your requirement. Apart from that, you will also get the template file download link somewhere in this video. We are going to create our contact form in just 4 steps. Step 1. Plugins installation and setting. Step 2. Creating a basic structure of the contact form using HTML. Step 3. Stylizing our contact form using CSS. Step 4. Final finishing in Elementor. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now, first, go to the WordPress setting, and then the Reading tab. Click here and select the same page on which you want to create a contact form. And then save the changes. Don't worry, at a later stage, you can revert back to the previous setting after creating your contact form. We have set this page as a home page because when we will stylize our form using CSS, then we can see the effect in real time without switching the browser tab. Now, we need to install few essential plugins to create exact same form. To install plugins, hover over the plugin tab, and then click Add a New option. Now, head over to the search box, and then type Contact Form 7 in the search field. Here we have the Contact Form 7 plugin. Click here to install it. Now again, type add-ons in the search field. Here, you will get a plugin result with the name Premium Add-ons for Elementor. Click here to install it. Now type Elementor in the search field. Here we have Elementor plugin. Click here to install it. By the way, in my case, here is no installation option appeared because I have already installed this plugin. Now, click on the installed plugin option. Here on this page, select all 3 plugins, and then select the Activate option from this list. After that, click here to apply. Congratulations! We have completed our first step of contact form creation. Let's proceed towards the second step, which is creating a basic structure of contact form using HTML code. To do so, hover over the Contact tab, and click on the Contact Forms option. Here, click on the Edit link to edit the default form. You can also add a new form after clicking on the Add New option. But for now, I will be editing the default form. Now, select the default code, and then press the Delete key on your keyboard. Let me write our first piece of HTML code for this contact form. Now, this is the opening div, and this one is the closing div. Between these divs, all the contact form codes will come. In the opening div, we have an ID with the name of the responsive form, and a class with the name of ClearFix. With the help of this ID and class, we will target our form in CSS for stylizing. Let's create a heading in our form. Here is the heading, and this heading also has a class. Now, let's first save it, and then preview it on our page. But for previewing, we need to add this form on any page, so let's do it. Go to the Pages tab, and right-click on the All Pages option to open in a new tab. To add the contact form on any page, hover over the page name, and click on Edit with Elementor. Here, don't forget to set this page as the home page, so that you can easily see the effect of CSS code in real time. After styling the contact form, you can remove this page from the home page. Now, click on this plus icon to add 2 new columns. Click on the left column. Go to the search field and then search contact form. Here, you can see, we have a widget with the name of Premium Contact Form 7. Drag and drop it inside the left column. From here, select the same form which you are editing. As you can see, our heading has appeared here. In the end, just update the changes. Go back to the form editor. Now here, we need to write code for 4 rows. Let's create the main div for all 4 rows one by one. The first row for the name and email input field, the second row for the subject input field, and the third and fourth row for the message text and submit button respectively. All the rows have the same class. Inside the first row, let me create 2 columns. The first one is for the name input field, and the second one is for the email input field. Now, here inside these 3 remaining rows, we need a single column in each one. Here all the single columns have the same class. Let's create the name and email input fields inside their respective columns. Here, you can see, both pieces of code have the same class. Here, both the input field has a label, and both input field is required type field because of these asterisks. If you want to make any field optional, then remove the asterisks. Here are the input field placeholders for the name and email input field respectively. Here are the span tags for displaying required asterisks inside input fields. If you are not understanding the function of placeholder and span tag code, then don't worry. I will explain this once we will start stylizing our forms, because these elements will only appear after adding CSS code. Now, let's see how our contact form currently looking. As you can see, here is the heading, and here is the name input field label, and email input field label. This is the input area for our contact form. Now, here we will write a piece of code for the subject input field. Here, you can see, this subject input field has the same class as the above fields. Here is the required text field, a placeholder for the same, and a span for displaying required asterisks. Now, let me add a piece of code for the message input field. Here, in the last row, we need a submit button. Let's understand the message input code. Here is the class same as above, this is a field label, and here is the required text area. Now, what is this? This is the width and height of the text area in the number of columns and number of rows respectively. In other words, our message area is 10 columns wide and 5 rows in height. This is the minimum length of the message, that is 10 characters, and the maximum length is 500 characters. This is an icon inside the placeholder, and in the end here is the span code for displaying required asterisks. Here at the bottom, we have a submit button code with a Unicode symbol. Now we are done with our HTML coding part. Let's save and see how our form looks now. First, refresh the page to load the changes. Let's type few characters inside our message area. As you can see, we have typed only 9 characters, that's why our message area border becomes red. If you remember, we have made 10 minimum required characters. The moment when we type 10th characters, the warning is gone. Now, let's check the maximum input limit. As you can see, we cannot enter more than 500 characters inside our message box. This limit is very important for your site security. If you don't put any limits, then attackers may send huge messages to bloat your hosting storage space. By the way, if you want to see more videos like this, then please make sure to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you never miss a single video. Now, we have completed our second step. Let's proceed towards the third step, that is stylizing our contact form using CSS. To do so, just go to the appearance, and then right-click on Customize option to open it into the new window. Now, scroll down to the bottom, and click on the Custom CSS option. By the way, this option name or location may vary according to your installed theme. In my case, I have installed Ocean WP theme. In many other themes, you will get this option as additional CSS or a similar one, but all of them have the same purpose. Let's start with form background, border, and form padding. This property affects form background. You can give any color to the contact form background. You just need to type the color keyword, hex color code, or RGB color code in the background property. You can change border thickness, type, and border color with the help of border property, just like this. To change the form padding, just tweak the padding property. Now, let's add a second piece of code to stylize our form heading. This piece of code will affect the contact form heading. You can change the font family. All the Google font is supported here. In fact, let me show you how you can change the font style. Just go to font.google.com and search for any font you like. Click to view the font whichever you like. And then click on the Select This Style link. Now, head over to the bottom side and copy the CSS code. And go back to the custom CSS page. Then paste it over here. As you can see, our heading font now changed. You can increase or decrease the font size. You can change text alignment, just like this. You can customize the margin with the help of margin property. You can also change the heading color with the help of the color property. Now, let's create the next piece of code to stylize the contact form input field. This block of code will stylize the input field of our contact form. You can change the input field width. You can change the input field padding with the help of the padding property. Now, here is the font family for input placeholder. In our contact form input placeholder, we have added fontawesome icons. These icons are nothing but fontawesome characters, so make sure to don't change or remove this font family, otherwise placeholder icons will disappear from the input field. You can change font size with the help of this property. You can change the input field background color with the help of this property. Here is the property for the border thickness. Here are the properties for border style, border color, border radius. Rest 3 properties from the bottom is for box sizing and responsiveness, leave them as is it. Now, let's see how you can change icons you like. To do so, just go to fontawesome.com. Click on the Icons menu option. Here on the left side, click on Free. You can see, we have more than 1,600 icons. Now, let's add this icon. Click here to copy the Unicode. Go to Contact Form 7 HTML editor. Let's change the name input field icon. Here is the placeholder code. Select the last 4 characters, and then paste the copied Unicode. Here as you can see, our name input field icon changed. Be aware that few icons may not work despite being free. I have made a separate video on the best method of adding fontawesome icons to your website. Watch the video after watching this video from the end screen. Now, add this piece of code to highlight the input field currently in use. You can change the border color, background color, just like this. Now, add a piece of code to display the required asterisk inside the required field. Here you can see, the required asterisk is displayed. You can replace the asterisks with any other text. You can also change the color with the help of the color property. Don't do anything in the position property. You can change the margin, asterisk size, and padding, just like this. Now, let's stylize Submit button. Here, this block of code is for styling Submit button. You can change the text alignment, color, size, and font weight, but don't change anything inside the margin property. With the help of the background property, you can change the button background color. Here are the button shadow color and opacity. This is button padding. Here, this property is for a button radius. Don't change the width property. You can transform button text into the upper or lower case with this property. You can increase or decrease letter spacing. Now, let's create button hover over effects. As you can see, our form button appearance is changed when I am hovering over. You can change the button shadow color, opacity and shadow distance, etc. You can also change transition time. You can also change hover over the background color. Now, let's type the next piece of CSS. With the help of this CSS code, you can define the button's background color when the user clicks and hold on to this button. Here it is black. Now, just add this piece of code to stylize the error or success message after form submission. With the help of this piece of code, you can change the tooltip appearance. Here, this CSS code block is for the contact form validation error message. And this piece of CSS code is for the success message. Let's add a few CSS codes for form and rows width, rows height and position. Don't change anything except form width property. Now, in the last, we have the very important media query CSS code for form responsiveness as per device size. Here, this block of CSS code will only affect the appearance of the contact form inside the desktop. Here, you can see, name and email input fields are aligned side by side. Here, the button appearance is changed into the square and left align in desktop. Now, let's add the next media query code for tablets only. Here this code blocks will only affect the form appearance in tablets only. Here, you can see, our button corner is rounded and button center aligned. Now, let's add the next media query code for mobile phones. Here this code blocks will only affect the form appearance in mobile phones only. Here, you can see, our contact form heading and button text size have become smaller. Our heading is left aligned, let's make it center aligned. Now, our heading is center aligned inside mobile and tablet and left aligned inside desktop. Now, in the last, just publish the changes. We have completed our third step towards responsive contact form designing. Now, we are at the final step, that is final finishing in Elementor. Before we proceed further, I am going to show you the HTML and CSS code files along with Elementor template of the exact same design. Here, you have two options to download this file. The first option, just type the URL shown here, and the second option, just scan this barcode from your smartphone. If you want to know more about how you can create this contact form in less than 1 minute by using the file which I have given to you, then just click the end screen video link after watching this video. For the final step, let's go back to the WordPress dashboard. Hover over the Pages tab, and then click on All Pages. From here, hover over the same page at which you have inserted the contact form, and then click on the Edit with Elementor option. Now, click on the right side column. Go to the widget search field, and search Maps. From the search results, just drag and drop the Google Maps inside the right side column. By the way, you can use any Maps widget from these two widgets, but be aware that the maps will not load without the Google Maps API key. Fortunately, the left side widget is currently working without an API key, that's why I am using this widget for the sake of this tutorial. Maps widget without API may break any time on your website, that's why I have made a video tutorial on the topic, how to set up Google Maps inside the WordPress website. Make sure to watch the video after watching this video. Now, in the location field, type your Google Maps address. Here, I am using the address of one of the iconic Mughal heritage of India. Here at the bottom, click on the Navigator tool. Now, select the section from the Navigator element list. Go to the Style tab. Then click on the Border option. From here, set the box shadow. By the way, this is completely optional for you. Instead of box shadow, you can set any background color, but make sure to change the form background in the custom CSS too. Now select the Maps element. From here, you can set the zoom level for your maps. This is the map height, set it 516 pixels. By the way, you can adjust the map's height as per the form's appearance. Now, select the left side column, then click on the Advanced tab. From here, set the padding 0 pixels. In the end, just update the changes, and close the Navigator window. Now, from here, click on the Responsive Mode tool. Select the device size 1 by 1, and change the form setting if required. Here, it's looking good, so I will not be changing any settings. Now, let's check the page responsiveness after opening the new window. Here you can see, our contact form design is fully responsive. What will be the topic of our next video? Let me know in the comment down below, and if you like this video, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get new video updates, and make sure to check out video playlist of contact form tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.